Hi guys, today we are continuing our discussion on the parotid gland. In the previous video, that was the video 1, I have already discussed with you people about the basic features of the parotid gland, including the weight of the parotid gland, then the location and also the coverings of the gland, including the true and the false capsule. So you can watch this video before you proceed for the today's video, which is based on the external features of the gland. Now, in the external features of the gland, we have 4 external features. We have apex, base, 3 surfaces and 3 borders. So, I am going to deal with all of these features in detail. Now, if you just write down the word apex, it will be a hint for you in exams. It's based on tips and tricks. So, I am going to give you hints when you just write down the term apex and you want to write down features of the parotid gland in relation to the apex. So the first letter in the apex is A. Now A in anatomy can mean artery. So there is no artery which is there in relation to the parotid gland. So you don't need to write this point. You just need to appreciate that there is no artery present in the in relation to the apex of the parotid gland. Second is P. Now P means posterior belly of the digastric. So it is directed. It is directed towards the posterior belly of digastric. And we say that it is directed downwards. So it is directed downwards because posterior belly of digastric is present downwards. Then you have another word, other letter which is E. Now just magnify this word E. What can you see? You can derive 2 letters from E. One is C. This is C I have written down. Just by omitting this central horizontal line, I can take out the word C from here and also I can take out the word F from here. So it is the cervical branch of the facial nerve. So we can see the cervical branch of facial nerve. Cervical branch of facial nerve also in this relation. And now just magnify the word X. You will see 2 V's here. एक V ऊपर है, एक V नीचे है. So it has anterior and posterior divisions of retromandibular vein. It has the anterior and posterior divisions of the retromandibular vein. So that is about the apex. Just you need to remember the letters only, and you will be able to write down the important 4 points for the apex. Now we'll start with the base. Similarly, we'll do it in the base also, but now from apex we went like this. In base we're going to go opposite like this. Just take out the first alphabet, which is E. So E says external acoustic meatus. So it is directed. जब भी मैंने first बोलना है ना, तो मैंने हमेशा directed ही बोलना है कि वो apex या base किस point पे directed है. So this is directed towards the external acoustic meatus. And I know this thing that all of you know that external acoustic meatus is directed upwards. So it is present upwards. And obviously it's opposite. अगर ये directed downwards है, so it has to be directly present upwards. Then the next is S. S will tell me that here we have superficial temporal vessels. See these words, everything we will remember if you practice it continuously. Then only you'll be able to remember it. Or you can even make out external acoustic meatus ki region where we have the temporal region. The temporal region is going to contain the superficial temporal vessels only. Then A will tell me auriculo temporal nerve. Auriculotemporal nerve, which is the branch of mandibular nerve. Okay, so auriculotemporal nerve. Now here we don't use B, but if you can just convert B to T. Okay, like TB, you know that tuberculosis is a very common disease. So if you can just convert B to T, then you will get temporal branch of facial nerve. Temporal branch of facial nerve also. Or again, you know that this is a temporal region, and so you will have the temporal branch of facial nerve and the auriculotemporal nerve along with the superficial temporal vessels in this region. So these are the important 4 points for the base. Now we are moving ahead for the surfaces. Now for understanding the surfaces, I am going to recommend to draw this diagram, because drawing this diagram will be very helpful if you want to see the surfaces of the parotid gland and the borders of the parotid gland. Now in this diagram you will see this is anterior border, this is the posterior border, and this is the medial border. So the anterior border, if I just put my hand below it, so this anterior border is going to rest upon the masseter muscle. Posterior border is going to rest upon the sternocleidomastoid, and the medial border is present on the lateral aspect or the lateral wall of the pharynx. So we have these three features which we can see for the borders of the gland. First of all, we have the anterior border which is resting on the masseter muscle, posterior border in relation to sternocleidomastoid, and the medial border in relation to lateral wall of the pharynx. Now anterior border is a very important border because it is going to contain parotid duct, accessory parotid gland, accessory parotid duct, and also all the branches of the facial nerve except for the cervical branch of facial nerve, which is involved in the apex of the parotid gland. So that is why we say that the anterior border is a very important border. I will write down all the points which I have told you. Also you can appreciate is present between the superficial surface. This is my superficial surface which is present between the anterior border and the posterior border, and in between the anteromedial surface. Anterior border and medial border has the anteromedial surface. I'll just write down these points one by one. We are discussing the anterior border now. First point which we'll write down, it is present between the superficial surface and anteromedial surface. Second point, it rests on masseter muscle. Do you know masseter muscle? It is the muscle of mastication developed from the first brachial arch, which is the mandibular branch, and supplied by the mandibular nerve. Next, you have to appreciate the feet or the structures coming out from the anterior border. So the structures coming out from this are, I am writing out the structures: parotid duct, if there is any accessory parotid gland and its duct, parotid gland and its duct, so it will be accessory parotid duct only. Then all the other branches of the facial nerve except for the cervical branch of the facial nerve. So what are they here? You have the temporal branch, zygomatic, buccal branch. Buccal is dividing into upper and lower buccal branches, marginal mandibular. These are the branches of the facial nerve. Next we are going to discuss about the posterior border. Now the posterior border has in its relation the sternocleidomastoid. So it is going to have the sternocleidomastoid. So it's going to rest on the sternocleidomastoid present between the superficial surface and the posteromedial surface. So here I'll write down the features for the posterior border. Posterior border is present between the superficial surface and the posteromedial surface. That is the first point. Second point for the posterior border is it is going to be there in relation to the sternocleidomastoid. And also, since you know that the sternocleidomastoid has mastoid process, so it's going to have the mastoid process and the styloid process along with the posterior belly of the digastric. So the structures piercing from the posterior border are going to be the styloid process, mastoid process. Then you're going to have the sternocleidomastoid muscle and the posterior belly of digastric. You can remember posterior belly of digastric by the apex, because at the apex also we have the posterior belly of the digastric only. Then after the posterior border you have the medial, which is in relation to the lateral wall of the pharynx. So just for the medial you have to appreciate it is present in between the anteromedial and the posteromedial surface, and here you have the lateral wall of the pharynx. Now we are starting with the three surfaces. In the three surfaces, you can again see we have the anteromedial surface, we have the superficial surface, and we have the posteromedial surface. Now, in relation to the anteromedial surface, now you have first of all the masseter muscle, the ramus of the mandible, and the medial pterygoid. So you can remember it by Mr. M. So that is the mnemonic for the anteromedial surface. Now, anteromedial surface. Anteromedial surface ka mnemonic is simply Mr. M. So what is this? This is masseter. Then this is the ramus of mandible. And this is your medial pterygoid. Medial pterygoid muscle. Now, whenever we talk about the posteromedial surface, you're going to see the styloid process, the mastoid process. Then you can also appreciate the posterior belly of the digastric, sternocleidomastoid, all that we had appreciated in the posterior border, again in the posteromedial surface also. Now, the most important is the superficial surface. In the diagram only, it will be very clear for you if you just draw this diagram. This outer covering is the skin. Then, this is the superficial fascia. This second line is the superficial fascia. Then, this one is the platysma muscle. This is the greater auricular division, which is the division of C2 and C3. For understanding the greater auricular nerve, you know that it is the supply for the parotid gland. You can visit my previous video. I have explained about the greater auricular nerve as well there. And this is my parotid lymph nodes. So this is all for the different surfaces and the borders of the parotid gland with this diagram. Thank you everyone.